Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So this is crazy, but there is a man charged with murdering his wife. He was on Family Feud and was asked a question that is will make your shake in your boots.
Yeah, it's haunting now. Even though you're going to see him smiling when he says this, when you realize what just happened last month, according to police, this, as you say, chilling.
All right, Timmy, talk to 100 married people. What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?
Honey, I love you, but said I do. Not my mistake. Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, aren't I?
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of hell to pay at your house. Let's try to save my buddy Tim.
Good answer.
I do.
Well, okay, he got it right.
That was a win that day.
But he is now charged. It turns out that he and his wife, I believe they had 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
They were in the process of getting divorced. And she got a restraining order against this guy. And
then last month, police say that someone broke into her house and murdered her. And they have arrested and charged Timothy, with the crime.
Can we just say, he looks like a different person.
Completely different person.
It's shocking when you look at that picture.
A lot has changed over the last few years.
A lot has changed. He's being held without bail, too. And look, well, obviously it was the right answer there. It appears, not only looking at his appearance, but the state of their marriage, too, a lot changed. Because, as you mentioned, there was the restraining order there. And he's been arrested and charged for this thing, and it happened almost a month ago.
Hey, Brad, I didn't see the wide shot of this. Was she there on Family Feud?
So I don't think she was there up on stage. She may have been in the audience, but she wasn't part of their team.
Ah, well, that's kind of interesting in itself.
Yeah.
But look, we were talking about this in the morning meeting today, about whether this could end up being used as evidence in the trial. I don't think it can. I've kind of changed my opinion about it, because his answer is not necessarily what he believes,
right.
It's what he thinks the audience believes.
That's the way, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but he was just playing the feud.
He was literally playing the feud.
When you play the game, you're supposed to throw up the answer. Your guess is supposed to be what most people would say. And he even said that when he responded. He said, look, I don't feel this way, but, and there it was number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it's just one of those chilling things
weird that
looking back.
That happened, and then it ended up not only in divorce, but
murder.
In a murder.
Hi, my name is Ilana Monet. I'm from the South Jersey area, and this story is very interesting. You hear a lot of times people regret marrying their significant others, hence why that was number 2 on the board. But I did not think murdering his wife would really be next, until she was unfortunately found dead. I also do agree with you, because he really wasn't saying about himself, more so the people's answer. But I guess you never know, because he sure did let himself go in that picture. So I guess things changed.
Well, it would be interesting if, I mean, I like you said, I doubt a judge would allow it, but would prosecutors even try? Even they've got to realize.
I don't know whether they would or not. I mean, some prosecutors probably would try. 2 things. One, again, he has not been convicted of this. He has been charged. So I think we need to put that in context. And the second thing is, and I know this sounds kind of ridiculous in terms of whether prosecutors would use it or not. You know what's interesting?
What?
It was a number 2 answer. That it's not, he didn't come up with something that no one would have thought of.
If it wasn't on the board at all.
It might have been more curious.
Right.
But it was a number 2 answer. So it kind of buffers him in that respect. Also. I know. We're going to move on.
Yes. Moving on to the Vanderpump Rules scandal. Let's say it.
Okay, Sandoval.
Tom Sandoval's affair with Raquel Leviss. And finally, the person everyone has wanted to hear from, because we've heard apologies from Tom, apologies from Raquel.
We've heard Lisa Vanderpump being all upset about it because she says she wants to get them all in a room together to talk about it on camera.
But we have not heard from Ariana until now. Ariana Madix, of course, who was with Tom for, 9, 10 years before this affair. So it sounds like she has a bit of revenge
A bit.
A bit of revenge.
It is a warning.
Revenge on the mind. Here's what she had to say. When I have felt like I couldn't even stand, you all, the fans, have given me the strength to continue and seen me through my darkest hours. To say I've been devastated and broken is an understatement. However, I know that I am not in this alone. So many of my closest friends are also grieving this loss right now and reeling from this betrayal on so many levels. I am so bleeping lucky to have the best support system in the world, and I hope I can repay every single person for the love you have shown me. What doesn't kill me, better run.
That's the line.
Wow.
What doesn't kill me,
that's
better run.
That's from an old Charles Bronson movie or something.
Yeah.
Woo.
If I were Tom Sandoval and Raquel, I would be scared. I mean, it's pretty telling. I mean, I think she's coming after both of them. I think that's
Which
a
more,
message to both of
Brendan?
them.
Which more? Which is she coming after more?
I think she's
Raquel.
coming after Raquel more. Yeah.
I do too.
If I were Raquel, I'd be scared.
But what does that mean, though? I'm gonna go after them because I agree that
I think
that
she
line is definitely
wants
revenge.
to be vague, right?
But does she want her off the show? Does she want her?
Well, for starters, I think that
You know.
Raquel should be afraid that if she does end up finally showing up to the reunion, which we've been told, she's still back and forth on if she's going to go or not. But I think that if she does end up deciding to go to the reunion, she should be afraid because I think Ariana will come for her. I think she will come for Tom. But yeah, if I were Raquel, I mean, she's the one that was in the middle of their 9-year relationship.
And by the way, one of the things that I think Ariana at this reunion, if Raquel shows up, that will be brought up and should, is all the we've seen the videos over the last few months or late last year when Raquel was showing up at events for Tom that she really had no business flying up to Sacramento.
And what you're suggesting is this was a longer-term thing than people
right, and
even
that's
know.
what Ariana is going to bring up, and she's going to she will come with receipts. What about this day? What about that day?
I want to raise a different issue. Brendan, you broke the story about this whole thing 2 weeks ago, I guess now. So help me out here, because I don't know. Look, the producer in me says this is reality TV gold, and it just is. That everybody's going to watch the reunion. It's probably going to boost ratings for the show generally next season. How much of this is true feelings, and how much of it is we're on a reality show, we're trying to become stars, and yeah, bad things happen, but there's a silver lining in all of this?
Oh, I think they're in a true feeling mode. I think everything the producers are capturing, as we reported, they went cameras up after we broke the story. I think everything they're capturing over the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, is real drama, real emotion on the show. I think we might see some of the realest from these cast members over the show's 10-year history.
Yeah, I think and I think I said this yesterday, it can be both. I think there are definitely real feelings, and honestly, the reunion, to be fair, if you're the producers, yes, you are rubbing your hands and you're going, yes, we're going to get great ratings, but you also want to be fair to Ariana, and you want, because there are real feelings there, and part of the reunion is allowing her to, I don't want to say exact some revenge, but at least get her side of the
Well, that's going to happen.
And get her feelings out. Right.
Hey, Brendan, how does this work if Raquel doesn't show up? If she's not there and it's only Tom, it feels. Well, I know Tom's going to get skewered, but it feels incomplete.
It feels very incomplete, and I think producers are scrambling right now to find a way to make Raquel happy, to get her there in person. You have to imagine they're pulling out all the stops to make sure she's there, to get her side of the story. I mean, that is the TV goal. I think people want to hear from Raquel more than they want to hear from Tom.
Is that right?
But what assurances can they give her that? What if you're Raquel?
I think that's right, actually.
If you're Raquel, what can producers say to you that convinces you? Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll give you a little bit.
Maybe.
A little bit more money.
Give you a little hazard pay.
And I'm not saying that's going to happen, and I'm not trying to throw shade in it, but look, they want the whole cast there for this.
They want them all there.
This is their moment to elevate the show, right?
Exactly, and you also have to remember that when these cast members, it's just like Housewives, the way Bravo contracts work. If you don't show up to the reunion, you're basically not brought
That's a
back
good point.
for the next season.
That's a good point.
If Raquel wants a job next season, she should probably show up to the reunion next week.
I disagree with you a little bit there. If Raquel doesn't show up, you think they're going to say, you're gone? Because the next season with her there is going to be, it's going to be...
Because you'd eventually get all the stuff that you'd get at the reunion, you'd get it next time.
And you have this whole thing kind of play out.
Hi, I'm Gemma from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to say it was so great to hear from Ariana. I can't even imagine how she must feel going through this in the public eye, but it's nice to see everyone rallying around her. I hope she doesn't hold back with Tom and Rachel at the reunion.
Hold on, why are you saying that? Because I guess her real name is Rachel, but she goes by Raquel?
Yeah, her government name is Rachel.
That's the diss now. You call her Rachel.
I got you. Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Euphoria star Jacob Elordi has run to court to get a restraining order after several terrifying run-ins at his property with the same guy who keeps showing up. We will tell you why he's so in fear at this point. If you watch Euphoria, Jacob Elordi is a pretty menacing guy. I mean, at times his character is...
You mean his character, not
his
him?
His character, yes, his character is. However, that is not fooling at least one. I guess this guy would call himself a fan, though Jacob Elordi, I'm sure, has a different name for him. Someone who keeps showing up at his home, he says, has showed up multiple times.
What is he holding?
Yeah, what is that in his hand?
Jacob would call this guy a stalker. So
Right.
he filed a restraining order against this guy. So in February, he was walking his dog, came home, found pastries in front of his house on a gate. And then this guy was there basically confessing his love for Jacob. He, chased him off his property. A week later, this is where it gets really scary. A week later, he comes home and finds a gift basket in his backyard with flowers and a note from this guy apologizing for what had happened the week before, and then he's on the surveillance cameras that he has at his home getting into his backyard.
Oh my God.
So clearly there is one photo where he's looking right at the camera. So this person is completely undeterred by security measures that he sees at the house. And listen, to any fan out there who thinks just because you leave something as a gift, if you are showing up at someone's property uninvited, that's one, you're breaking the law, and two, it is still scary for the person who lives there.
The scary thing, too, also, is that this guy has a history of this. So in 2007, he broke into Nicolas Cage's house.
Oh, my gosh.
He broke in?
Yeah, he broke into his house in 2007. He's been commenting on Jacob's Instagram nonstop. He, puts that in the restraining order as well, that basically this guy won't leave him alone. But the judge did grant the restraining order because Jacob's filming a movie right now, and he's like, I can't even go home after filming. I don't feel, I don't know if this guy will be there.
So, a couple of things. One is, it is really difficult for celebrities in any town, but in this town where there are so many, because when you get a restraining order, the idea is you are ordered to stay 100 yards or whatever it is away from the person, and if you venture closer, they can immediately arrest you. The problem is people who are off are the least likely to follow a restraining order. That's number one.
Especially like this guy who we said doesn't care about security measures.
Well, after Devin said this about Nicolas Cage, you know that.
Right.
And so the second thing is, look, this city has had some real tragedies. There was an actress by the name of Rebecca Schaefer who was on a show with Pam Dauber, who was Mark Harmon's wife, a show called My Sister Sam, and somebody showed up at her doorstep, and she opened the door, and this person shot and killed her. And so, this is on the minds of anybody who has a stalker or anybody like that. And that's not the only instance where that's happened. So this is a really frightening thing. And you could say, oh, the guy's just bringing pastries, bringing flowers.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's the psyche of the person. And like Devin said, the fact that this person has a history, broke into Nicolas Cage's house, it's scary.
Eric from San Francisco. I got a bunch of questions about this, especially if this guy has been doing this with Nicolas Cage way back when. How is this guy still around? How has nobody apprehended this guy? Clearly the guy's on photo and you got his name and everything like that. But otherwise, Jacob seems like he's doing everything right. I hope it stops with the restraining order. But you may also need to have maybe someone at the premises at all times, maybe at the front door. Might need to put some banana peels in the driveway, tape some tasers to the Roomba. I don't know, because you just never know what you're dealing with some people.
Yeah, no,
that's the thing. It's like
this is really,
no matter how innocent it seems,
it's frightening. It is
you don't
really,
know when it
really
changes.
frightening. Okay, we're going to move on.
Yes. Moving on now to where are we going? Lindsay. That's right. Lindsay Lohan's baby. That is, well, we don't know how many months away, but she is going to have a lot of help with the baby because both of her parents are over the moon about becoming grandparents, and they, both Michael and Dina, have said they plan to be and will be very involved in little, I don't know what the name is going to be.
I don't even know.
Boy or girl, we don't know gender.
Girl. That's right.
And by the way, the grandparents, if they know, they didn't give it up either.
Yeah, they didn't spill the beans, you guys. That's crazy. Usually grandparents are the ones that tell all the tea.
Yeah.
Hey, Siobhan, do we know what the relationship is? Because there's been a really rocky relationship between Dina, Michael, and Lindsay.
It's been rocky, but apparently they're all good and they are a happy family again. Michael's not going to go to Dubai for the birth because the baby's going to be born in Dubai, but Dina will.
Dina plans to be there. But yeah, Michael said that he and Lindsay are good. This was the more remarkable part. He said that he and Dina are good now.
What?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually great, but I'm shocked at that. Is that
and
right?
It sounded like they were good before the baby news.
Good for them.
Yeah, they've been good for the last couple of years, they said.
I'm sorry for being shocked, but
no, I know
our history of covering all
too.
That's
but
great.
Yeah, so the baby, baby will bring them all together. I thought what was interesting, Dina said that that Lindsay is going to split her time between New York and Dubai once the baby is here. Mainly because a lot of the work she's doing is based here in the States.
My recon is she's going to be doing a movie. Her career has really caught fire again. And, the Christmas movie she did well. I'm told she's doing another movie. So Lindsay Lohan has rebounded. Good for her.
My name is DJ K-Dev. I'm from Long Island, New York, just like Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
And first, I would like to congratulate her and her husband on the announcement of her firstborn child. Bringing a child into this world is absolutely a huge blessing. And I know for a fact that her mom and dad are definitely going to be in the child's life. This morning, actually, I saw on Dina's Facebook, she wrote, "My beautiful baby is having a baby and I am over the moon and filled with tons of joy." And then she had the pocket full of sunshine with Natasha Bedingfield behind it. So, they're just ecstatic. And we can't wait to see what the baby looks like and what the gender is. And we congratulate her and we wish her the best.
Are you subtly saying that you want Lindsay to have a girl?
I would hope so. I mean, I'm wearing two.
I see. This is your gender reveal.
No, but you're wearing a blue blouse.
Oh, but she's wearing blue. That's right. Blue
she's
blouse.
Hedging her bets.
Pink background. Yeah.
Hedging her bets. I feel like we're about to hear a Paul Anka song.
Yes, I know.
You know. Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, celebrities in Hollywood are scrambling to buy and sell homes before April 1st.
They got 2 weeks.
There is a new tax coming into effect on April 1st, and it means they're going to be paying a big premium if your home is worth more than $5 million, and even more if it's worth more than $10 million. Josh Altman from $1 Million Listing LA is going to be with us to let us know how celebrities are reacting.
He is enraged.
Yeah, he's not happy about this. There is a huge change coming in Hollywood, actually for all of LA County, and a very expensive one if you are not only celebrities, but obviously celebrities tend to own homes that cost more than $5 million, more than $10 million.
In this city?
They're starting April 1st, a new tax goes into place here. It's called the mansion tax. It was passed on the ballot last November, and it is now about to go into effect. It means a 4% tax on a home over $5 million, and a 5.5% tax if your home is over $10 million.
So what we can tell you, and we know this because we talk to lots of realtors, is that there is this mad scramble going on with celebrities who want to close deals in the next 2 weeks before this tax takes effect. So let's talk about A, the tax, B, the scramble with
Josh Altman, our buddy from $1 Million Listing LA. Josh, welcome back. You've got to be getting a lot of phone calls you're definitely going to be getting them over the next 2 weeks, but I'd imagine the scramble is already on.
Listen, I would rather be on TMZ for any other reason than to talk about this tax, the dumbest tax ever put through in the history of Los Angeles. I don't even know how it got snuck through. Most of the clients didn't even know it was out there. They hid it under a homeless tax, and we all know the homeless are never going to see any of this money. If you sell your house over $5 million, which is pretty much a basic house in Los Angeles, you got to pay 4%. If you sell it over 10 million, you got to pay 5.5%. It's better to sell an $11 million house for $1 million less than charge a million more, because it's literally just they're gonna take that money. And the worst part about this tax is this. They call it the mansion tax. They call it the rich person's tax. People don't realize this is going to trickle down. It's going to screw up the market, and it's going to trickle down to the people under 5 million. I hear people under 5 million saying, "Oh, it's all good. I'm not affected by this." Well, guess what? If your house was worth 6 million, now it's worth 5 million. If your house was worth 5 million, now it's 4. 4, now it's 3. It hits everybody. There was no reason for this tax. I don't know how it got through, but people are starting to fight it.
Hold on, Josh. Well, I get your point from real estate. I hear what you're saying about the trickle down, but to say that there is no reason for this tax, I mean, you drive around LA a lot, and you know that we have an incredibly horrific homeless crisis going on right now, right? Now, we can debate whether this is the best way to solve it, but there is a reason that this tax was at least conceived.
Yeah, so I'm all about giving money to homeless. I love the idea, but we all know that they're probably not going to see any of this. And the issue is that if you tax people, you should tax everybody, even if you want to make it a sliding scale. But to actually, I don't even know how it's legal, but to just say if your house is worth more than this, you have to pay this, but everybody else is fine, I just don't know how that works. And what I'm seeing in the business now is a mad dash to close deals before April 1st when it comes into effect. So there are deals being done right now that would never have gotten done at certain prices. It's definitely going to mess with the market big time. And a lot of people are now standing on the sidelines saying, I don't even know if I want to live in LA. Why would I live here? Why don't I take my big business somewhere else? And then those 50 people that they employ are going to be out of work.
Well, there are a lot of regulations and laws in California that are causing a lot of people to flee.
Even before
places,
this one.
Yeah, for places like Texas and Florida, and we've seen that. Look, I mean, we have a huge homeless problem.
And we say the
city.
money, by the way, isn't supposed to go directly to the homeless. It's to build affordable housing to help.
But you know what I'm thinking, Josh? You're too young, but I'm sure you know about it. There was something in LA called Proposition 13, which I was actually involved in when I was very young, where property taxes were limited to 1% of the value of the house. And the reason they passed that law is because there were people who were in impossible situations where they were paying so much property tax they couldn't afford their mortgage. And so I'm thinking, in a way, this has come back because you might have somebody who's owned a house for 25 years that they bought for $400,000 and now is up in that level. And those people who don't necessarily have all that money, where you think of these, incredibly rich people, they're going to end up on the receiving end of this tax.
Yeah, and not only that, here's the craziest part about it. It's whether you make profit, don't make anything, lose profit, 1031 exchange it. If it's an investment, it doesn't matter. So imagine this, you buy a house for $6 million a couple years ago. You just sold it for $6 million because the market's down a little and rates are up. You now have to cut a check out of your pocket, not of the profit, but of money you had before that you have to now give away to this to this ULA measure. That's the issue.
What I'm being told by people I've been talking to, Josh, is that, it's really everybody, but a lot of celebrities are really scrambling, as you say, to close these deals. And in a way, they're almost willing to pay a premium to close it in the next 2 weeks. So it must be, a lot of these deals should
got to be good for business for you, short term.
Would typically take like 2 months, and now it's going to be a week, 2 weeks, things like that.
Well, yeah, of course, it's good to close escrows, but we're in this business for a lifetime, not for a month. I'm less concerned about the commissions. I'm more concerned about the overall market, which I own lots of real estate in, and a lot of my clients own lots of real estate in. That's the issue. I'm doing a deal right now that we got an offer for $5.1 million. And my client said, you know what? I'll take $4,999 instead of 5.1 because he's going to make more money.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Okay, well, look, we appreciate the perspective. It sounds like
gonna happen,
you're going to be super busy in the next 2 weeks, right?
Hey, I'll call you in a month after April 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Josh, thanks a lot for the time. Also, love the money behind you.
That's good, but it's not mine anymore. I got to give it away to ULA.
Thanks, Josh. We're taking a break.
All right. When we come back, a shocking and disgusting discovery in a bowl of soup from a restaurant in New York City. A rat, an actual rat.
No, a whole rat.
Now, that's what the customer says happened. The restaurant has a much different story.
Yep.
We will break down both sides when we come back. Ugh. Welcome back to TMZ Live. There's an old joke, I'm sure you remember it, about a fly in the soup.
There's a fly in my soup. What's a fly doing in my soup?
I forgot the punchline.
The backstroke.
The backstroke.
Jeez.
Yes. Well, a couple in New York City
How do you raise that and you don't know the
I just thought you were going to do the whole joke.
Okay, go.
I did remember it. I remembered how it started.
Go.
Jason and Eunice Lee in New York City are not laughing about what they say they found in their soup.
By the way,
ordered.
this is really disgusting what you're about to say.
Yeah, they ordered some takeout from a restaurant. It was delivered to them, I believe, by Uber Eats. And look what was in the bowl.
So disgusting. There's a dead rat in our soup. We just puked. Oh my God.
Well, it's just, I'm sorry. And apparently it's like a whole rat.
Well, Harv, so first of all, this couple has actually filed a lawsuit. They have claimed that, one, they've been made very physically sick because of the rat, but it has also caused them emotional distress. So they have actually...
I would agree.
The thing that I'm trying to figure out that I still can't figure out, Reagan, go back to the video.
It does seem like it's one of their bowls.
Is that a porcelain bowl or is it a styrofoam bowl? What I'm trying to figure out is that a bowl that came from the restaurant? Because if it's not, if it's their bowl, how did they ladle out the soup and not know there's a rat in there?
Yeah, and look, it's actually really interesting because there are surveillance cameras in the kitchen of the restaurant, and they actually and they say it's the chef making this bowl of soup for these people, but that you actually see him ladling the soup into the container, and it's hard to imagine scooping up a big rat and the chef or the cook not seeing it. He is literally looking right down at the ladle, at the bowl of at the pot as he scoops the soup. I don't know how you could ever pick up a rat.
Do we know that the actual?
Right.
That's what they claim, Harv. Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
So, Babcock, so the restaurant is saying that they didn't do it, that this was made up by the customers, right?
Right. They say that. So they say that the customer called and complained, and they initially offered a refund for the food plus a $100 gift card as a sorry. But they claim, the restaurant claims that the couple demanded $5,000 right off the bat, and that's when they said, no, we're not going to give you anything. And now here we are, a lawsuit.
But it is interesting that they offered something, because one of the oldest tricks in the book is to go into a restaurant and then say, oh, I broke my tooth on something, or you plan something in there. And I'm not saying these customers did, but restaurants are wary of this. And it's interesting that they immediately tried to settle with gift cards and whatnot,
give them something, right?
Yeah, look, I worked in a restaurant for a really long, or Harvey saved me. I worked in a restaurant for a really long time. I don't think it's not out of the ordinary to present a small gesture to a customer. It's $100.
I mean, that's true too.
Right, it's a pretty bad allegation.
Right, you keep the customer happy, so they're not going to make a big fuss.
By the way, if it is true that I'd saved you from that restaurant when we hired you.
Well, first of all, how did you say you didn't save him?
I did so.
No, the truth is Harvey wanted me and Charles did not want me. Charles did not want me.
I hired him.
That is not true, Mike.
You were mad at me that I did.
I had to go around Charles and send emails and handwritten notes to Harvey to get hired.
Really? Don't make me go to my desk right now and pull out the handwritten note that you sent to me.
Charles.
That you sent to
I'm
me.
Going.
No,
I am going.
Handwritten note to me.
I had a FaceTime call with him, and then I came out and said, I like him so much, I hired him. And you said, why would you do that?
Harv, we never talked on FaceTime.
Hey, it's Justin from Dallas. This is just insane. I hope they get this rodent problem under control in New York, and I'm sure that restaurant's going to get a bad reputation now.
Look, we don't. The restaurant says it's not them, and it is.
We'll see.
I can't tell. You just can't tell at this point.
Okay, we got to move on.
Yes, moving on to the war for BET, and Diddy has thrown his hat in the ring, but he's going up against some stiff competition here.
Stiff competition. Byron Allen.
But Diddy's point is, Byron Allen and Tyler Perry have teamed up, and they want to buy BET. But Diddy, and
boy, this is a Titan-like.
I will say
contest.
this: if Byron and Tyler end up getting it, maybe Diddy would be all right with that, and maybe he would try to get in with them. His point is, at this point, black entertainment television should be black-owned. And that's why he is going after this, and says that he's going to be putting together his own team of investors to try and make this purchase.
So, Diddy has Revolt, and Revolt is here. It has some programming that people really love. However, I think that Diddy's plan that he laid out, so Rashad from Earn Your Leisure talked about on his podcast, a huge podcast, by the way, when you talk about media, that he actually spoke to, people on Diddy's side, and the plan is to put together this super team. And I think that that's brilliant, because we've seen a lot of people who get into this game of buying these networks and trying to figure things out, and it's not as easy as it seems. I think it's great that Diddy knows that he's going to need a bunch of different people. So you need people on the business end, you need the influential people, the people who really understand the content, because it's going to take more than one person, and black people are not a monolith. So when you get that superpower, that super team together, all of the relationships, the focus, the interest, it's like being in the newsroom here. Like, you literally put together an unstoppable team, and BET needs that. Like, it's been the paramount for us for so long, but they haven't really been the leader in content when it comes to a lot of things.
And Lauren, I think that's the point here, is that when you look at content, I know Diddy produces a lot of content, but it can't compare to Tyler Perry, who has this huge studio in Georgia, and Byron Allen, who has scooped up shows like a Pac-Man. And, between the two of them, they can completely populate BET.
They can, but the bottom line for Paramount, though, Paramount doesn't, who they're buying it from, they don't care what they're going to do with it.
No, they just want their money. But for us,
but I'm just saying that in terms of what the end game is.
Who's going to be able to do more with it?
That's right. It seems to me that it's got to be.
As far as consumers are concerned.
That's right.
So you're basically saying you want the consumers to choose which team they're rooting for?
No. What Lauren said is that people want this content, and I'm saying that the content is probably more supplied by Tyler and
Byron. But she's saying why Diddy wants to do it, because he wants...
because there's a group of people who wouldn't agree with you when it comes to Tyler Perry and content, although he is one of our heroes, love Tyler to death. But you look at like a 50 Cent, right? Like, we had a conversation in the Black Caucus the other day, and Tawana brought up a good point. She said 50 Cent has been leading, like taking over when it comes to content. I would put him in that ring as well too. Like, there's a lot of different people who, if you put them all together, you have Tyler Perry, he does have an audience. 50 Cent, Diddy does have an audience.
When you said that, Lauren, about Diddy putting together his team, the first person I thought was he should get 50 Cent on the line.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a shaky history.
I know, they have a bad history, but this would be a good time to settle those matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Malik Devante out of Washington, D.C., and I have to agree with creating this big team with Tyler, Byron, 50 Cent, and Diddy would be amazing and great. And it's like each person can bring something great to owning BET and creating black entertainment for us again. And I agree that BET should be owned by a black person. It's been a while since we have. And so I would love to see Diddy take it over, or even Tyler or Byron, but I would also love to see them work all together to make this happen.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. We got to take a break.
How long? I was trying to think when it was that Paramount bought it from Robert Johnson. When was that?
A long time ago.
A long time ago.
Because remember, we did a show with them, with Raquel. That's right. That must have been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, an incredible sight over the Black Sea. This is a Russian fighter going after a U.S. drone. How this encounter ends? Well, Russia has one side of it, and we've got one side, and now...
we clearly have the true side.
We've got some video proof. Welcome back to TMZ Live. This is absolutely incredible video, and it sort of settles a dispute between the U.S. and Russia.
Pants on fire, Russia.
Yes. So the camera you're looking at is attached to a drone, a U.S. drone over the Black Sea in international airspace, which is important.
And the Russians said, we never touched this drone.
That's a Russian MiG that's coming at them there.
And it's our drone, and the Russians have said, we did not touch that drone. Nothing ever happened to the drone. We were not aggressive toward the drone. Well, look at the video.
Well, the fighter made 2 passes at the drone.
Dumped fuel on it.
That's what happened there. So the camera breaks up because the Russian fighter hit it.
And here's how we can prove it hit it. Go to the still. Look at the blade in the propeller. That blade is twisted. You see that on the right? I don't know how that happened. How a fighter could just hit one prop. I've been thinking about it all morning.
Right.
I don't understand how it happened, but it happened. And so the drone ended up going into the sea. They don't know if they're going to recover it, but this is a really scary situation because we are getting closer and closer to conflict with Russia.
It's either a scary situation or it's not that scary because you have one fighter pilot who happens upon the drone and then just kind of does what he wants to do to the drone. The Russian officials have said they have no knowledge of this.
Yeah. So you're saying that maybe this was a rogue fighter pilot?
Yeah, well, I sort of think of it, a U.S. pilot sees a Russian drone in international waters and decides to have a little fun with it.
Well, except, Jason, I've been following this thing, and they're saying this happens a lot. This is not a one-off, that it has happened, and Russia has been really aggressive toward our aircraft. So,
well, look, I mean, we are at sort of an undeclared state of war with Russia right now, right? We're providing a ton of arms to the Ukrainians to fight them. We are sort of through another party killing a lot of Russian soldiers, and this could get nasty very quickly, as you were saying.
Hi, Shanique from Jamaica, and I'm actually very pleased that the footage has been released because a lot of us were actually on the fence regarding which side to believe, which version of events, and now with this grand reveal, we now have much needed clarity.
Okay, we're changing gears. Time of the week that you
Your
like the most.
favorite time. Tim is here with his rejects. What do you got, Tim?
All right, so have you guys ever gone to an axe throwing place or a knife throwing place and try to hit the board with the bullseye?
I haven't yet, but I've seen these. I want to go to one.
I tried it once, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you weren't as good as this, Harvey. So this is a knife thrower. He's throwing to the board, but there's another guy that throws hoops. He has to anticipate where the hoop is going to land, and he throws the knife.
How can that happen? That's got to be CGI'd.
No, he anticipated.
I didn't understand what was happening there.
No, the guy's throwing the knife at the same time the guy's throwing the...
Right.
How can that be? Oh, I see. The knife throwers... Yeah, you're right.
He's throwing it up first. And,
okay, still
that's impressive, man.
Yeah, very impressive.
Next.
Okay, so when was the last time you went scuba diving?
Years ago.
Yeah, a couple years now.
Sometimes it gets really heavy because you have to put the big tank on and everything. So now there is check this out. You'll like this. This is really cool. There is a real lightweight device that you throw in the water. It floats in the water.
Oh, that's actually
And
really
then you can go scuba dive. The only problem is you can go 39 feet, which is still pretty cool. You can still see a lot of sea life there. It lasts 5 hours, and so you get the full experience without the big tank on your back.
Why no? I like that.
I'm 40 feet down, and then what happens to the thing up? No.
If you're 40 feet,
I
if you're
want
only
the
40 feet
tank
down,
with
you can get back up.
Keeping the tank with me.
I
Thank
like
you
it,
very
Tim.
much.
I like it.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, so as you know, cell phones are really expensive, so you got to keep a close eye on them. So when you're messing around, having fun, whatever, you got to keep close eye on your phone. So check this out. This person here is trying to do a little jump, impress their friends, jump over the grate here. It drops through, and somehow it just hit exactly through the hole. And
I bet you there's a clown down there holding the phone.
I don't know if she got it back or not, but the phone went down the drain there. So.
Phone down the drain.
Yep.
Highly dramatic.
Kind of like, very, very dramatic.
Wow, boy, ending on a high note.
Speaking of down the drain, where's that applause? Boy.
That last one sucked.
Yeah.
Okay, we're taking a break.
Out with a whimper. All right, when we come back, Kobe Bryant's daughter has an emotional speech at an incredible ceremony for him here on Hollywood Boulevard. You will see why he is in a very unique position on Hollywood Boulevard now. Big honor for Kobe Bryant in Hollywood yesterday, and his family, his wife, his daughters, all on hand for this outside the TCL Chinese Theater, where now you can walk up and see Kobe Bryant's handprints and his footprints. And at the ceremony, his daughter, Natalia, spoke.
I'm honored to be here today to recognize the man that we all knew and love, my dad, Kobe Bryant. Dad, you are an icon, a legend, a storyteller, and most importantly, the best girl dad any young woman could ever dream of. I'm honored to be here to represent you and our family, and we are extremely proud of you.
Now, this is a really amazing thing, guys, and I think when you look at Los Angeles, this is the most deserving person who could receive this kind of honor. You know, they have all these special ones out there, Marilyn Monroe, all these other big actors and all that, but
Well, they belong there too.
To have Kobe out there permanently, though, I think that sends a great message, and it's really fitting, especially because of, you know, his Oscar that he has.
Yeah,
Natalia
and by the
said
way,
he was a storyteller.
He's the only athlete who has his.
Yeah, and as he should. And by the way, that was done inside the Chinese theater, and what they've done is
back in 2011.
Right, and now they've moved it outside.
My name is Joe Perez. I'm from Miami, Florida. You know, being a girl dad myself, you know, Kobe Bryant is someone I do look up to. I'm so happy to see, you know, his family celebrate Kobe like we all do as fans.
Yeah, it's a moving ceremony. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Well, in regards to the young lady getting killed, the Blennickford situation, I don't really know if everybody knows about how many of the court records were erased and taken off the internet, or have a judge decided to seal up different things, or even the fact of them being separated during that time when he told this particular joke.
But I gotta say,
they weren't separated when he shot the show. The show was back in 2019.
Right, and they were not separated then. One more.
Hi, I'm Anna from San Diego, and I just want to give my comment on the Vanderpump Rules story about Ariana. I'm really glad that she's feeling all the love and support from everybody around her, not just personally, but publicly as well, and that she's ready to confront Tom and Raquel and get answers to the questions she needs. I hope she's able to move forward and find some joy and peace in her life and not let any of them take any more of her energy.
Boy, that reunion show is going to get huge ratings. Okay, we're taking a break.
When we come back, The Last of Us star Pedro Pascal.
He is so good.
He is also super caffeinated.
Yeah.
You're going to see what he told us yesterday about his coffee order. Wow. Pedro Pascal's coffee order has been big talk on TikTok. Someone on TikTok took some video of him walking out of a Starbucks.
This is crazy.
And he orders a quad espresso with 6 shots. Guy's always moving pretty quickly, like he was yesterday when he was walking out of a Starbucks, just got his coffee order, and the photogs, of course, wanted to know what's in the cup.
Hey, Pedro. How many shots of coffee do you got in that cup? 12?
I think he was making a joke. He knows that the TikTok had been going around and everyone was saying, wow, he's got a lot of caffeine. So he amped it up to 12.
I am such a huge fan of his. I'm so happy that I have something in common with Pedro Pascal.
You do 6 shots?
No, I don't do 6 shots, but they ask me and him what's in the cup. So I got something in common with Pedro Pascal. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wow.